Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could until it bent in many blue. And then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and needed wear, and for that passing there had one really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in grass, in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I left the first for another day, knowing that how way leads on to way, I doubted if I would ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. How many of you have heard Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken, before? Good. This is one of my favorite poems of all times. And it talks to a universal truth, the power of choice, and how we make choices and make decisions. And also how these decisions significantly have an impact in our lives, especially the ones that go against the grain. We've all been there, haven't we? When we're at the crossroad, and maybe literally, probably not perhaps literally in a wood, but at a point in life where we have to make a decision. It can be a simple decision as choosing a hobby, or as big as, or as significant as actually choosing a career path, or a new place to live, as most of you are here in Lisbon. And having these decisions, you're sometimes faced with a lot of options. A road that is familiar, well-worn, safe, and another one that is overgrowing, winding, and uncertain. How many of you have felt the tug, that little whisper of just urging to go towards the road not traveled? And yet, how many of you have hesitated? Because the uncertainty can be overwhelming. It can be fearful and sometimes terrifying. But let me tell you one thing, that fear and uncertainty is where the most opportunity for growth reside. That's the cave that we fear to enter. And I've had many caves that I have feared to enter. Like, for example, one of them is when I had to choose between a path that was safe, financially safe, and planned and predictable, to something that was full of risks, and a place where, or a path that success was not guaranteed, and probably failure was quite certain. And I stood there just like the traveler in Frost's poem, where I was contemplating which roads to take. And my heart was racing as I was just going through the implications of each choice. And I had to choose. And it was very difficult at times to go for what my heart desired and what my safety and what my fear wanted to do. So what I did, I contemplated this path of the path of the unknown, the risky path. And I had questions to myself: what would it look like if I take the risk? What would it look like if I didn't? Would I regret taking that risk? Or would I always wonder what it would have been like if I did, and if I didn't? So my dear friends, I did take the road less traveled. I did go for having my own business and becoming an entrepreneur. And to be sure, to tell you, it hasn't been easy. There were days where I have questioned my decisions, and there were days where I thought of going back to that safety, but I stayed. I stayed one step at a time, 1 mile at a time. And that has made all the difference. It hasn't made the difference because it was just, the journey was smooth. It has made the difference because it was mine. Every step, every turn, every challenge has made me the person who I am today. And I'm very grateful for that. So, dear travelers, I want to ask you, where do you stand right now? What crossroad are you actually facing? What choices are you facing? What little voice inside of you are you listening to? What is that voice saying to you? So Robert's poem is not only about the unconventional path. It's actually about embracing the uncertainty. It's about having the courage to do something that is your unique way, and also that someone else has not dared to take that path. It's also about finding fulfillment in the journey and not the destination. And it's not about being reckless. It's actually about being true to oneself, even though the path is unclear. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that, my friends, has made all the difference.